Hey crafting friends, welcome to Creative Moments by G. I'm G and today we have such a fun card to make. We are going to use the die set from Stampin' Up, Give It a Whirl. You are not going to believe how easy this card is to create and how many different ways you can create. Now make sure you stay with us because I'm going to show you 2 additional cards that we made and how we made them. So let's head down to the crafting table and let's get busy. Now this is the stamp set that we're going to use to decorate our Give It a Whirl, and it is such a great stamp set. Hey Chuck, we're going to do a birthday card. Let me show you the Give It a Whirl die. We're only going to use 3 pieces today in our card to make it so easy. Yes, you have all these pieces and I will go over them a little bit later. But for us, let's just pull out these 3 dies to make it really an easy card to recreate. You're going to want to do this for a birthday, for get well, whatever you want to do. Now, I'm going to show you a Happy Father's Day card that we made. Look at this. You turn this little dial right here, which we have an arrow. You turn it and it says, Happy Father's Day. Hello, handsome. Keep going because you have 3 different sayings. Holy smokes, you're amazing. Don't you love this? And then, of course, we brought in our earthen textures. Oh, my goodness. So pretty. Let's see how we do this. The first thing you need to do is take a mat, take DSP, take whatever you're going to use, and you will put this die on your paper. Now, we went ahead and we cut this out. So all you do is pop it out, and then I also cut out the DSP. So we simply put this on some DSP and we cut it out. And notice how it actually cuts out that little hole. That's very important. Now the reason I cut out 2 pieces is I wanted this to be a little thicker. So the next thing you want to do is glue these on top of each other. Now, you want to make sure you line up that hole right there on both pieces if you decide to do 2 pieces together. So let's just go ahead and get that glued down. Now, I'm going to bring in my silicone mat just in case I get glue everywhere. So we're going to flip this over. And I'm going to put the lid back on. And that is so that hopefully my glue will stop drying out. So in between, I'm going to put the lid back on. That's a great tip. Now, let's just lay this down. Now, remember, we want to line up those holes. So make sure you're lining up the holes. Getting it just perfect. Now, what you might want to do is take your pick tool and make sure that you've lined up that hole just like that. We know we have. And now we're going to cut out one more little piece. Not hard at all. We're going to take this triangle and we're going to put it at the top because we want to cut out the hole where you're going to see the message. Now, center that, make sure that your hole is lined up. It makes it so easy to see. Let's just look at that. And go ahead and put your repositional tape on it. We use this purple tape. We absolutely love it. It's called highlighter tape, and it works so great. It doesn't tear your card, doesn't tear the mat. You can head on over to our Amazon store, and you can get the link for that. Love this. And now we're just going to run this through the embossing machine. I'm going to run it through one more time because we do have 2 layers on it. And I want to make sure it's a good, clean cut. just going to pop that off. And see, it didn't tear our mat at all. You can save this as a decoration for another card. We always keep our little bits. The next thing we need to do is take our wheel. And I didn't show you the wheel earlier, but this is just a die that's included, and just cut out a piece of paper. Now, if you can see those triangles, you may not be able to see them very well. You don't have to pencil them in. But if you can't see them, you're going to draw just a little design. Make sure you have that hole right there lined up. Put it down, and we're just going to trace around that just a little bit, and that will tell us exactly where to stamp our message. So here we go. We're just drawing a very light line. You will erase this before you add it to the back of your card. So far, easy peasy, right? Now you can see this really well. So we are going to grab our stamps, and I have 3 sayings right here. I'm going to stamp them in Night of Navy. And the first saying I want to stamp is rise and shine. I'm going to add it right in the center. So tap, tap, tap. Just going to hold it there for a second so that goodness, all that richness can transfer. Okay, now it's important to just turn this so this is at the top. If you don't do that, you're going to get the wording upside down, and you don't want that. So the next one is going to be, you've got something to crow about. So tap, tap, tap. We're going to turn it one more time to where this is right at the top. And now we're going to say, it's your birthday. Now, I want to show you a tip. If you're unsure about whether or not your message will fit right here in whatever you've selected, then you need to make yourself a template. Just take some cardstock and use those dies that you saw in the set that I said I would discuss. You can have a circle, you can have a heart, a rectangle, or this triangle. And then all you have to do is grab your stamp set that you want to use and just add it and see if your message fits within the image. Now look at that. I could actually put a rooster if I wanted. You rule the roost. That also works. You can grab any stamp set that you want and test it out. This thank you even works. You are proof there is good in the world works. So you can actually use this cutout image, and this is a great template for you to make sure that your message will be seen when you turn your dial. So that's just a quick little tip. Now, the next thing that we want to do is get those marks erased. And this is a fantastic eraser to use. It won't smear your pencil mark. Okay, the next thing we need to do, punch out just a circle that's not as big as this circle, but it really acts as a shim right behind this one. So we just grabbed one of our scalloped edge punch, and we punched out this circle. Now, it's about a 2-inch, 2.5-inch circle. What's important is it's not as big as this circle. And really that just provides a buffer between the two, and it helps it move much easier. So let's go ahead and start putting this together. because then all we have left to do is to decorate the front. Now, the next thing you want to do is grab you some brads. Now, Stampin' Up! Has brads. I'm not sure if they sell these anymore. You can go to Office Max or Staples and buy yourself some brads. We just happen to have these, and they have very small little circles, and we like that. They also have larger ones, but do you see how tiny that is? Tiny, tiny. We like that. Now, you want to make sure that you line up your holes again, and you get this turned just right, just like this. And now we want to get this lined up right in the center. So let's just line that up, turn it over, get it in the center, and take your pick tool and your stamping mat, lay it down, and put a hole right through it. And see how we did that? We just used our stamping pad. Now you can put your brad through here, separate it, and just open it up, just like that. The next thing that we want to do is we want to add our dimensionals. And dimensionals allow us to then add it to the front of our card. Now on our card, we are going to use a white base card, and that's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And I want to remind you, all our measurements will be listed over on creativemomentsbyg.com, my blog. So we invite you to go over there to get the measurements. Now we're going to bring in our dimensionals. The very first thing we're going to do is put a dimensional on either side of this, making sure that we have rise and shine exactly where we want it. Just add a dimensional on either side, and now we're just going to line up our dimensionals on the outside. What you need to remember here is do not get close to this big circle, because that's the one that needs to turn. Now we're just going to take the backs off. I want to remind you, make sure you take the backs of the middle dimensionals off as well. And now bring in your base card, whatever color you decided. We're going to line this up, and we are just adding this to the front of our card. Now, remember I showed you this little die right here. We cut out that arrow, and we are going to add it right here to show them which way to turn the dial. So let's grab our silicone mat. Let's add a little bit of glue right here that we can drag it through. Just going to get a little bit of glue, and we're just going to put it right there. And that just shows which way to turn the dial. Now look at this. Just turn the dial. And there's a message every time you turn it. How cute is that? But we're not through yet, because we want to decorate the front of our card. So let's move that to the side. Let's bring in some stamps. Now we are going to use this guy because he's squawking the messages. And so let's go ahead and just bring in our memento. And I'm going to tap, tap, tap. Going to stamp him. I'm also going to bring in a fence. So tap, tap, tap. We're going to make 2 copies of this. And now we're just going to do a little bit of coloring. And we are going to use the blends Daffodil Delight, Pumpkin Pie, and Melon Mambo. So let's get him colored. I'm going to bring in my new color, which is copper clay. I like to use the brush nib because it's so much faster when you go to color. And here are our images that we cut out. We also cut out a little bitty cake. Look how cute that is. Now let's get this decorated on the front of our card. And I'm just going to add this just like this. Now I'm going to put this guy up on dimensionals, and he's going to be standing on the fence. Take off the backing. Because you see, he is saying, rise and shine. You've got something to crow about. It's your birthday. We're going to take this little bitty birthday cake and we're going to add him over on the fence right here on a dimensional. Now we have cut some mats to put on the inside just to give it some more stability. And look at this card. How cute is that? Let me show you some additional cards that we made. Now, I showed you this one. We used that beautiful earthen stamp set. This time, I put the arrow a little bit under this corner right here. I didn't put it all the way down. You can put it however you want. Love this card. We're going to give this card to our brother for Father's Day. Holy smokes, you're amazing. Love this card. Happy Father's Day. And finally, look at this. We had to do our daisy. Happy birthday. Keep moving it. Thinking of you. You're a friend like no other. Take a moment, leave a comment. Which is your favorite? Do you like Hey Chuck, Earth and Textures, or our Daisy card? Well, thank you so much for spending your time with us. We hope that you love this Give It a Whirl card. It is so much fun to create, and it's easy. You just pull out 3 dies and then plus the little arrow, and you can make this card. Remember, we're going to link 2 more videos that show you what we did with this Give It a Whirl die set, and we hope that you check those out as well. Go out, make it a fantastic day, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.